Exploring the cultures of Finland, Norway, Sweden and Denmark, Nordic Night featured many activities such as concerts, tasting sessions and discussions about the secrets of the so-called Nordic happiness. One panel was dedicated to the common values shared by Nordic countries. Rationality, security and trust were the key words to define these values.
In the Nordic countries, people trust each other. They trust their government, they have trust in justice, and this is based on what you were talking about, the rights. You asked me to come with some few personal examples. Trusting people, for example, means that in Denmark, you can put the stroller outside when you go into the supermarket with your baby, because you know that nobody will harm it, and it's a perfectly trustful environment to be in.
Nevertheless, representatives of the Nordic countries also stressed that these values are common to people regardless of geographic location. This event was also a good opportunity to evoke their common history with Ukraine.
We have a long history together. The Vikings came here on the rivers, and as you know, one of your princesses became a Norwegian queen many years ago. And we've also had sporadic contacts through the ages, and we also had many contacts with Ukraine during the disaster of the Golodomor, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, I think much of the contact was probably lost a little bit when Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union.
Finding the relationship again between Ukraine and the Nordic countries may involve music. That's why the Ukrainian band Personal Witches gave a concert specially dedicated to Scandinavian culture. Their songs celebrate nature, forest spirits, full moon and tell stories of love, as well as call to save the environment. Another thing that Ukrainians and Nordic people have in common is the taste of good beer and food. Thus, the audience has been introduced to Nordic delights by different cuisine workshops in a warm and friendly atmosphere. There, we came across Liliana, a Ukrainian girl who decided to study in Finland. She explained to us how Ukraine is seen from there.
They know that Ukraine is in Europe, and some of the people are kind of were surprised that Ukraine is not part of the European Union. They know Odessa, like Finns know Odessa, which is kind of funny. And well, I know that the situation in Ukraine in 2014 was widely spoken about in Finland. Now, like, the whole world is not speaking a lot about it. So, like, well, sometimes they're like, oh, you still have war there, stuff like that.
Like Liliana, more and more Ukrainian students decide to spend some years in countries like Finland or Denmark. But thanks to technology, there's no need to take any plane to experience such countries. And to push the full Nordic experience even further, visitors could also bike around Copenhagen without leaving Kyiv.
Pierre Mareczko, UATV.